share this with some viewers and you're able to post this on your YouTube channel as well. I just dropped the privacy notice in the live stream to understand that this will be recorded. So if you can kind of just do like a little like quick check here and there, that'd be awesome. And then we be ready to start whenever we're all verified with the recording.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, morning.
Good morning, Chad. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you living?
What's going on, man? Josh, what did you say you need me to do? I'm cool, obviously. Yeah.
If you're just like, do you have OBS or any other like screen recording that you can kind of just record the session and then we'll be able to upload it later, whether or not you want to upload it on your YouTube or our YouTube, and then we'll be able to share it with the community and also your community as well.
Of course. I can just record my, you don't need me to record the chat, do you?
No. Just your screen is perfect.
Cool. Alrighty. I have it recorded, by the way.
Awesome. We're getting a little bit more people to hop in here. I know we got some
Cool.
viewers getting their coffee and their morning started.
Yeah, it's free coffee today at Starbucks.
What's the holiday for that? Is that just a random day? What's going on?
I think it's just to get people to recover from last night, maybe, that have to go and work today. That would make the most sense, but it may be a holiday. I think it's actually National Golf Day in America. So that's, I don't know.
National Golf Day. Sounds very American.
It sounds very probably, you know. No, good that was, man. Come on now.
Do we have any news today?
Nah, no news to that. Man, I wish I would have bought last night in Asia. I was like, I should be able to get pulled back this morning. Nah, we ain't getting that.
All right, we got about 80-ish people in here right now. That's a nice audience. We welcome everybody. If you can drop some love in the chat to Nick, this is his first time up on 2 Degrees. Please give him a warm welcome, and we would be happy to hand over the stage to you, Nick, and then you kind of just go over, introduce who you are, what you're doing, your model, and all of the nice fun stuff. So without further ado, a lot of love in the chat. We appreciate you. Take it away.
Awesome. Well, it's like I said earlier, it's glad to be in here. I appreciate you guys for having me. And I know some of you guys in here before. I think I've seen Colin, Ash, and a couple of others. But a quick introduction to me is I've been trading while we wait for the markets to kind of open up here. Been trading for about 6 years now, 2019, about 3 years, well, close to about 4 years full time. And it's been like a long journey. Like it was really rough. It was actually really good at first, and then it got rough. And then like it was probably my whole trading journey has probably been more rough than it has been good. But then, as you guys know, like when it gets good fast. So, especially with terms of prop firm scalability and things like that. ICT, I've been trading that for coming up on, it'll be 4 years later this year. And I started a lot with T-Trades, Ryan, as you guys know, Dodgy, AM, Matt, and a couple of others in like a group chat, like late 2021, early 2022. And we just kind of started watching ICT 2022 mentorship together, or like not together, but like, you know what I mean? And yeah, so we've all known each other for that long, and then we just kind of, T went like started doing videos and things like that, and yeah, so when people say like dodge your T on stream, like wow, like those people. It's like yeah, like I've known for like a long time in terms of like uh, it's just crazy to look back on like the journey we've all been on with this stuff. So yeah, and I think there was a couple others in there if I'm not mistaken. I just can't think of their names right now, but and yeah, so we've just been doing that, and then I recently, I think whenever T was coming out with live videos, T dropped like 2 videos a week back, like when he first started, 2 or 3, and I would try to watch them all. I'd try to like help him piece things together as well, like because we were just picking things up on the fly, and it was actually kind of bad because we were trying to learn all these concepts at one time. I think this is what you hear a lot of people talk about when they're teaching ICT or learning it. Is there was just too many concepts coming in every single day when he was having that mentorship drop, and you think like when you take a losing trade, you need to add a different concept. So it took me about probably like a year and a half to really um, like figure out like a good model for me, because like I was trying to add too much stuff, so I'd like take a lot of things away. And I think it was like April 2023 is well no, yeah, it was like spring of 2023, late like winter or whatever. Is like when I really honed in on just sticking to one thing. I actually blocked ICT for a while, and like I didn't go on Twitter as much, and it just kind of locked in, and just stuck with what I knew, and all I needed was like a couple of months of like it working. And I was like, okay, this is the way to do it. And then from there, I just kind of took off. So as for the technicals, I'll kind of get into it. I'm sure you guys have seen my model. It's like the unicorn model, but there are, just like with every other trader, some differences and things that I use and to my A plus setup and things like that. But just like with any other model, that you really need to be, it really just comes down to like risk management, psychology. Like those kind of go hand in hand with each other. But my favorite A plus setup is actually like panning out right now, but I don't like the direction that it would have to go. But there is a narrative here for it. I like seeing like like when I was doing core content. Let me just touch on this before I get into it. It was when he was talking about accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So what's up, game? And when I saw that, it was like I was like reading into like how like the like markets form and things like that. So accumulation, manipulation, distribution. They're only doing a couple of things. So for this in particular, I know Kane would probably love downside today, but I necessarily don't. But this is something that is kind of setting up here. So we got Asia session. Actually, let me just turn this on. I'll show you this. This is really good. So Asia lows right here. And this would be it, right? If I was bearish on the market, I'm probably going to sit out today. But if I do see something, I will take it. So it all goes by like some sort of accumulation and then manipulation and then distribution. However, like right here, now that I've kind of like looked at the markets here, I probably would have liked a run lower here. Let me check and see if NQ actually did it. See if we have like a lower run here. Nah, doesn't look like it. So maybe this whole move up right now is the manipulation, and then this is the distribution. So I don't trust it. This is the one we got. So that is actually like an A plus setup for me. But I'm not gonna, in terms of like the entry model and like patterns, that would be it. But with if you add in like directional bias and things like that, I can't do it based off this daily chart, and I just can't short in here as for right now. Like I think a lot of people go wrong with daily bias in terms of like the word, like they hear daily bias and they think, oh, I need to have a different bias every day because that's what daily means, right? like last week, I was just bullish every single day, right? Especially when we had that big gap down last week. I'm like, okay, we're gonna fill it. I kind of got a little emotionally drained Tuesday, Wednesday because price failed to run this flat body high in the afternoon. So I ended up trading the afternoon, and it was just really like I got edged like 1, 2, 3 times. So, but I did catch it on Wednesday, so that was good. But this is yeah, I'm only going to trade like one side of the market. It's okay to do that, right? You can have like the same bias for 3, 4, 5 days, and that's perfectly fine. I don't see why people have to like flip flop every day. And the only reason I say that is because, or the only reason, like, is because I did it, right? So like, I come into the market, I'm like, okay, what's my bias for the day, right? Because that's what ICT says, right? But I don't have to have that bias or a different bias every day. I can be bullish like the whole day. Like this daily chart last week, big sell off into this inverse fair value gap, and I'm like, okay, let me see if Monday low is protected, and it just kept running higher. And then we eventually pierced this high up here. So that is kind of a quick tip for bias. You don't have to keep flip flopping all the time. I think that's where I see a lot of traders mess up here. But actually, let me dive in. Does anyone have any questions about me or my trading model in particular? I'll show you guys a little bit more. A little bit more into it once the markets open and things like that. But I want to see if we get some questions here. Where you at right now, Kane? I'm guessing you're not with T anymore. Ah, England. Dang, bro. uh, what's up? What's up? What's up? Okay, well, I'm just saying kind of, I think this would be good if I just went through like my pre-market, like what I usually do every morning for like the AM session. And you guys can just kind of like follow along. So I'll immediately start on this chart right here. This is like daily. Okay, this kind of looks a little ugly, so I'll probably move away from it. Obviously, I have a draw up here, though. I have these like relative equal highs up here. And by the way, if my dogs bark, I have a shot collar and we'll shut them up. I may have to mute myself for a second, but just let you know. So every single morning, come in here, look at the daily chart. Okay, like I said, it looks a little ugly. Got a clear draw liquidity for the week. Drop to a 4 hour. Any gaps or any inefficiencies in here? I do notice that we kind of have maybe a trapped order flow scenario. So we have a 4 hour gap right here, 4 hour SIBI, and we also have a 1 hour BISI in here. And what I want to see in that scenario is price to just go through it and close above or close below. The more it hangs out in here, the more price action is going to be choppy on the lower time frames. So that's not very good, right? We don't want that. We want clear, nice, low resistance liquidity runs, obvious displacement, things like that. So I say I'm not bearish on the day. I probably side more towards sitting out today to see what happens, to see if this Monday low is protected. But I am going to keep aware of this 4 hour SIBI right here. And then I'll come over to this chart right here. And this is just like the hourly and the 4 hour. And I'll kind of mark it off here too. So actually there was a 1 hour SIBI here instead. And let's look at the file. Yeah, so technically, like if you guys want to take this play, okay, you'd want to, actually you'd probably already be in here. So so like I said, this is our Asia lows right here. Happens to be Asia lows. Actually, this would be it up here. I'll mark this off. So this is some sort of accumulation, right? And What I mean by that, it may not look like it on like these lower time frames, so I'm gonna drop out. We kind of got some down here. We got relative equal lows too. So I'm just gonna watch and see what happens. But like I say, the only problem with this is I'm not bearish. Like I would want this setup to be to the upside. So I mean, just pay attention to this. I mean, this is actually in terms of pattern. This would be my entry model. Like right here, stop up here. If you want to go like up here, you can. I just target like the first draw liquidity on the lower time frames or 2R, whatever it is. But that is something this could play out. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I would actually like this because I could get like buy orders down here for the rest of the week. So we'll watch that. And what I usually do is I'll post like the chart markup like I just did and into my Discord and things like that. Just show everyone like what I'm watching like beforehand that the market opens. I think that's important. And then like after how price delivered from that point of interest or things like that. And it's usually only 1 or 2 points of interest per pair. And that's okay, right? I'm just like sitting here on the hourly chart. So I'm like a very boring streamer, like in our Discord, Matt streams because he watches like the lower time frames more. Like I'll literally just set my alerts here on the hourly or the 15-minute, and I'll just like do something else on my laptop or whatever, on my iPad, work related. I'm not gonna scroll through like TikTok or anything, but yeah, and that's pretty much it. I'm a very boring trader. A very boring trader. I I don't really have a whole lot. I have fun trading, but like I don't. It's not fun watching me trade. People enjoy it somehow, but I don't see what they see. And then I trade gold, oil, and indices in QES, and that's about it. Gold has been. I want to show you guys this. I posted this on my IG a couple days ago. Look at this. Tell me gold isn't the best thing right now. So run up, retest, fair value gap, run up, retest, run up, retest, run up, order block. This is actually a trade in here that we caught. That was off the 1 hour, but there was no gap on the daily. Gap, daily, redelivery, rebalance, and bam. I don't know, man. Like this has just been clean to me. So I'll mark off something for that. I don't like trading all-time highs. People think of me as like a bull on the market. I actually don't like it. I prefer downside because there's more targets. But in this case, as long as I have a target, I'll trade. So this would be it right here, and then the M5. Man, it's kind of setting up some stuff here. So stop run, lower time frame. Right up here. And a lot of people like to put it below like the breaker. I like to do like whichever one's lower, right? It's like this fair value gap that's in here is lower than this breaker. So I like to give myself a little breathing room. And then you can literally target up to here. This is actually the setup, like, of the day, in my opinion, because this is aligning with everything, right? Like a daily bias and things like that. I don't know what the gold news was overnight or something, but that's been kind of crazy. And so what I'll do is I'll come to this chart right here in the lower time frames, not the lower time frames, but I have all three, and I'll just watch on this one chart what I want to happen. I'm a little all over the place this morning. I apologize. So yeah, this would be it. I'll come here. And I'm going to put it on the lower time frames on the indices too, just so you guys can kind of see if this plays out or not. I can't trust shorts just yet, but I can see why they would. You got an hourly SIBI up here, right, to work from. We had a nice pullback, and then we have some consolidation to target as well, relative equal lows. So I would not be surprised if we dumped it open. Now for gold and indices, I trade these like post 9:15 usually, and then for indices, obviously like 9:30 and above or news. But gold, I'll take it before 9:30. Like Friday's trade on gold, I took it like at like 9:15, and it worked out pretty nicely. Does anyone have any questions for me? Feel free to drop them. I'll go over them. But this is usually what I'm doing here. Now I want to see a close above. A lot of people don't talk about this enough. That, oh well, this is technically isn't like, you know, the swing high or whatever. So like I had to use, so like this wick right here is smaller than these bodies. Okay. So I'll just use as soon as like we get above the wick, like I'll buy either like the top of the wick or the body if it comes down in there. But it's got to get close above first. So this is like 3 steps, 5 steps. So I'm telling you, like, this is like, I'm not very smart at all. So draw liquidity. When it comes to like book smart. So draw liquidity, and then I want to have like point of interest. And what I mean by that is like, if I can figure this stuff out, you guys can figure it out. So point of interest, 1 hour FEG, or lows or highs. See, before, back in the day, I would have bought something right here. Like I was like, oh, test this order block. You know, I would have never wait for the candle closure. Stop run for FEG on the lower time frame, and then breaker. Now, with each of these comes something, right? So like, for example, SMT, I did a video on this, but SMTs for me are not like random lows, like they're time-based lows or time-based highs. So what I mean by that is like at 9:30, let me just go to indices. Let's say, for example, looking at ES and NQ here, right? Let's say, for example, at 9:30 open, NQ runs the high and ES doesn't, and then we get our entry model. That is an example of a time-based SMT, and those are a lot more, that's a lot more what I use than just random, like if there was nothing right here, if there's something right here. I don't like to use those because like they're so subjective. Like, well, they're not really subjective, but like they're everywhere is my point. Like there's SMTs all over the place, right? So like when you combine time with that element of SMT, like you can get the best SMTs. So that's pretty much it right here. Draw on liquidity, and the best draws on liquidity here for me are like the A plus draw on liquidity is like some form of consolidation, either high or low, equal highs, equal lows, flat body highs. So like last week, if we look at the hourly on and why I traded the PM session last week on Tuesday is because nice structure here. We tested a fair value gap. Now I was targeting this flat body high the whole freaking day. I missed it by a quarter. So especially on the daily time frame, like that's a good draw on liquidity. Let me go back to here real quick. We'll watch the open. Points of interest, like I say, fair value gaps or highs and lows. I prefer unmitigated ones for fair value gaps. And stop run, it's just something like this. So this is stop run right here on the lower time frames. So whatever time frame I'm executing on, this is the time frame I want to stop run. Okay. And same for the fair value gap. So all 3 of these are lower time frame, 3, 4, 5. 1 and 2 is just higher time frame. And what I mean by higher time frame is just 1 hour, 4 hour, or even daily if you have a daily draw on liquidity. All right. So people will probably ask me, this would be a good question. Okay, we didn't get closed above here. We retested this fair value gap. What would you do if the next candle closed above here? I would just buy at the top of the wick. Like as soon as we got closed above, I would just like when price retest the wick, I'll buy because this is lower. Okay. or higher, I'm sorry. But if this wick goes all the way up to here, I'm gonna wait for the body, right? So if this wick was like right here on the screen candle, the subclose candle, I would just wait for the body because like that's just gonna destroy my risk to reward, right? Like my wick, the entry would be right here technically. So like that's why I think model, like having a model and like refining it is like super important because like you can't like if I just give someone a model, like there's just things that I've learned. Like if I give someone a model and they'll be like, "Oh, well, isn't your model plan out right now?" I'm like, "No, like I ain't taking that trade, bro. You can, but um, like it's just very important because I've seen so many different things, and I'm sure people who trade this model have different things they see, right? But that is something in particular I get asked a lot. So a retest here, I buy right here at the top, targeting up to here. But yeah, I'm gonna take this away now. So I can clean up the screens a little bit before 9:30 open. And then I'm just kind of answer questions. And also too, I'll use like the 15-minute if I get like a full hour or something like that. Unmitigated. So unmitigated fair value gap would be something like this. So this fair value gap right here on NQ. It's unmitigated. So like it hasn't been tapped into yet. Whereas like this one right here has. So I really don't want to see it touched again. Does that make sense? Last week I took I've honestly, I don't mean to say this in like a egotistical way, but this year has just been amazing for me. Like I think I've had one losing day, all year. Granted, I've only taken 2 to 3 setups a week. So last week I took a trade on Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, and all 3 were like winners. I noticed the big people will be like, "Oh, what changed from like this year to last year?" I'd probably just say more patience, right? Not really. I had a goal set for the year. It was like some monetary goal, and then like 2 weeks after the year started, I was like, "This is so stupid. Like, why the hell am I setting monetary goals?" So I was just like, "Let me just follow my plan every day, write it down." So I have like this book right here, a journal. I just write it down every morning, and I just stick to it. Like plays out. Nah. Um, and to be fair, like there's probably been like 1 or 2 trades that I have taken that I would have taken if I would have been in the charts, and I saw like 1 or 2 of them didn't play out. So yeah, but I probably say 2 to 3 a week. Ash, to answer your question. So I'm just gonna watch this on lower time frames. Now that the only reason I'm doing that is because we are in an hourly SIBI here, and I'm just watching for devil's advocate. So this is an example of a good close for me. So like I would actually may actually see. So post something in my Discord real quick. They actually probably already know. Right at 9:30 is something like I kind of like to stay away from because it's just so freaking crazy. If I'm in before, like that's cool with me, but like right at 9:30, it just kind of like scares me. But I'll take a small stab here with you guys. Just targeting this high up to here. We'll see what happens. I don't know if you guys usually do this or not, but I'll take another little starter eval that I got. So kind of all over the place this morning. So buy side liquidity right here. This is just obvious for me. 1 hour bullish fair value gap. And I'm just targeting up to here. I kind of got crap. So, hey, calm down. Hey, How to get that shot collar out. Oh, it's also trash day here. Like the trash can comes and picks up trash, and they just get like super scared. So it's actually kind of funny. In queue, it could work out. It could definitely die. Like I say, wouldn't. I'm just bullish, right? So like, I did state that like this could happen for sure. We got 1 hour Sibi here. Looks like price is just retracing, and we got a lot of low resistance liquidity below us. So very well could happen. I would prefer the entry on NQ because that is like right at 930. It looks like ES was it right like 925 or something. Actually, actually, you wouldn't even need that many like these lows down here at 740. You could just like go down to like right around in here. So let's see what happens. ES is dying, so that's helping. Let me mark it off. Oh crap. So this would be something that I pointed out for you guys that just got here. I didn't realize this was not a very big move. Like you don't need a big move in order to hit like a good target. So 2R would just be down to here. Mm-hmm. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them. This is kind of what I do all morning. Just kind of sit here and chill. Oil, I'm waiting for more confirmation on oil. I want to see how it close above, like up here somewhere before trying to get long. Yeah. Nice. Type 1 in the chat if you guys are enjoying the stream. I'm so used to doing that on our Discord. I think this is a good example to like I love how like it's like a Monday with like actual like pattern like pattern that I use to trade is setting up. So I can like show you guys. And then after a couple minutes, I want to show you guys something else. But basically this box is the narrative for shorts, same with ES. And this box right here is narrative for longs for gold. So yeah. We'll just wait and play out, and I'm gonna give a quick lesson on something real quick. Also, I need to have like a tweet for like Trump's like tweet notifications on, because like market's been like kind of moving based off him tweeting. So I don't know if that's something that's happening here on NQ. Do you think it could be another interest as play into a downside? Obviously, yeah, right. Like this is another entry. I probably wouldn't. The reason why is because this liquidity here at 740, well, it's 730 for ES has been tagged, and NQ has like is right back higher. So this could be an example of like a SMT at 930, and we went higher the rest of the day. I would actually like based off of like how I'm gonna try to frame the market. I would actually like look for longs. If we get if ES starts to make a move back up, and NQ shows some like nice displacement to the upside. Oh, good stuff, Ash. Because I'm bullish for the week, right? Like I'm not bearish. Now, obviously, this 4-hour gap here. I'm gonna clean this charts up for you guys a little bit. So this 4-hour gap here, if we just dump from here, then that changes things. But I just don't think we do. I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. A lot of times too, like if I don't have like points of interest, like I like to wait till 10 o'clock sometimes. A lot of people might hate to hear people say that, but like I think it's important to kind of let the market breathe a little bit. So especially if I have points of interest, like if I'm waiting for like an hourly fair value gap to form, let's say right here, like say this is going, so like this is the 8 a.m. candle right here. This is the 9 a.m. candle. I'll wait for 10 o'clock to see if I get a fair value gap to form and then pull back into there. Who can remember why I did not take NQ shorts, by the way? Type in the chat. We got a lot. It's about the same. Right. So like if I were to take this trade, this would just be me pattern trading. Whereas what did I say about gold? I said gold would be something I would take to the upside because why? Look at what's the daily chart look like. Let me clean this. I'm all over the place this morning, guys. I apologize. Because who in their right mind would wear short here, right? And also too, like if you are like say you're bullish, like the less points of interest on the other side are better for you. So like if I'm looking at this chart right now on the hourly, do I see anything to frame shorts? No. On the 15-minute, do I see anything? No. 4-hour? No. The only thing I see is what? Hourly fair value gaps to the upside, right? Whereas if I go to NQ here, what do I have? I have a couple of swing low. I have a swing low to the upside, and then I have this SIBI that I'm working inside of. But the SIBI is like I don't want to use that because I'm bearish. So let's see what happens. There's no news at all, right, Josh?
Not that I see, no.
Yeah, not at all. So I told my Discord this morning, like I put the weekly game plan, just like we have CPI on Wednesday, like I think we have Powell speaks tomorrow right at 10 a.m. So that's no good. So like just kind of let the market come to you, right? Like let the setups come, like they're gonna be there, I promise. And when doing that, like you just get better peace of mind. When you have peace of mind, you just trade better, right? It's hard to get to that state, I feel like, because you want to come in the market, you want to trade, you want to make money. If you don't feel like you make money, you feel like you haven't accomplished anything. So I get it for sure. I used to be there, um, especially with husband and a kid, and another one on the way. So no one feels more pressure than me. So uh, on that regard, let's see why choose an ES instead of NQ. Um, I didn't choose ES. Like a lot of times too, like if let's just say I get a move to the downside and I'll have a point of interest on the H1 to work, I'll drop to a 15 minute and I'll wait till a 15-minute gap to form. Usually the reason why I wait till 10 o'clock is because like 9:30, 9:45, there's a 15-minute candle. And then 9:45 to 10, there's always a candle. So like usually if the market is moving in a direction, like 10 o'clock to 10:15, I'll get a pullback and then I'll take a short or whatever on the 1 minute time frame. Does that make sense? So I don't just trade the M5. Actually, majority of my trades this year have been on the M1, but they've been like super clean, like deep, shallow runs, displacement, and then boom, like really freaking quick. You just go check my Twitter out and you'll see them on there. Uh, NQ is humming, boy. And then like for tape reading, like trades, let me show. Well, this one's invalidated. I say I wouldn't have taken this trade anyway because I'm bullish on the day. Let me show this gold one actually, because what I'm looking for is just like fair value gaps or like the other side to get disrespected. So close above this bearish fair value gap is nice, retest. And then I would just like for this to go higher. My best trades on gold come on days with news or like there's just volatility in the market. Same with honestly the same across NQ and ES as well. No news Mondays, they can work, but I just like to see what the daily candle prints, right? Like if this daily candle closes like this on NQ, I'm not gonna be bearish the rest of the week. I'm gonna be bullish. Why? Because like odds are I drop down to a 4 hour, the 1 hour chart. It's just gonna be points of interest for one side. So I'm just gonna use that. And plus I have a draw on liquidity. So highs here, all-time highs up here. So people overthink it. This isn't a hard game. We make it hard for sure. Re-enter a silver bullet. You talking about like the silver bullet hour? Or what? Like from 10 to 11? Who's in gold longs or ES or NQ? It's type one in the chat if you're in a trade. Nice. Good stuff. That's another thing too, is like, how many of you guys get like super emotional when you're in the trade? Yeah. All right. So a big thing there's two things that go with that I've found the most when teaching people is like, even myself, like at first, is one, either you don't have enough trust in your system to know that they'll play out in the long run and you're being a little short sighted, or two, you're over leveraging, right? So people always ask that, hey man, how much should I risk on a 50K account? And usually I tell them like a flat number, but like if it's someone like I'm working with and I see their trades, like I basically just tell them, whatever you feel comfortable with. And a lot of people hate hearing it, but like whatever you can do the most analysis and just kind of let the trade play out, that's the best size you should do. So if it's on a 50K account and you got risking $500, cool. If it's you just risking $100, great, right? Like whatever you can go up to comfortably, and that's the most. That's the most important, right? So if it's just 2 contracts, 4 contracts, 8 contracts, whatever it is. Micros, people hate. Like, don't tell people you trade macros; they hate it. There's nothing wrong with micros. What do you think is the best way to gradually trade more size? I think it's just. I think it's just doing like the same thing over and over until like you feel comfortable to size up, right? That's what I would recommend. Like I actually traded, like I started off the year trading half size for the year, and I haven't gone back. I think that's probably why I'm trading a lot better, right? So like for me, I don't know when I'm gonna size up. You see what I mean? I don't know when the next size up will be. Um, but if I were to say gradually, it's just take it one step at a time. Like just the more accounts obviously help, right? Just add another account with the same size, like $200, like per account. You don't need like more trades. Like, you just need more capital. So this trade is working out okay. I want to see its displays. Okay, there we go. I'm not too worried about this because why? Like close above, retest. Like this should be the candle that really takes us if it's gonna go. The one thing I am worried about, since it is Monday with no news, it could consolidate and just do some funky stuff, which is why I didn't size too much on this trade. I don't know how, like we do signals in our Discord, so like I forgive me if I call out stuff like come in or whatever. I'm just so used to it. But yeah. Another thing too, for top 3 tools. What do you mean by tools? Like indicators? Obviously, you guys see me. I have a stat map on right here. I like to use that one. I like to use it a little bit different though. I like to align it with like points of interest. So if I'm checking the hourly out. I should just clean up my charts.
Okay, let me help you out, Nick, real quick. If you go to your indicators again, go to your indicators real quick.
Yeah.
You right click anywhere. Right click any of
right-click.
yeah, just right click. And then you see where it says arguments and values, turn those off. On the bottom. There you go.
Oh my god. That's pretty cool. Okay, cool. Awesome. So appreciate that. So I use them a little bit differently. So for this in particular, I want to see one of these levels match up with the point of interest that I have, just for adding confluence, right? It's the same, like I treat these the same way I treat the Cibi right here, right? Or the SPICY. Like it could do something around there. Like it's not the end all be all. You see what I mean? So, um, so I align these up. So that's number one. I had to use that one. I've had a lot of success with like tease indicator as well. I've been doing like some. I apologize for the charts here, but I've been using his like a really good bit. So let's use it on a different one. It's probably going to say it's an entry model here if I know his model correctly. Yeah, so it's a shift in structure, CISD. So use that one. So I'll probably say T stat map, and then I like this little this one right here. Well, it just shows like midnight open, or like this one right here, just the time element things. But I have a friend that would hopefully answer your question, Cam. Friend always revenge trade. No, dude, I'm OCD too, Josh. Like I just did not know that. As you know, I'm not very tech savvy. That's why I just keep trading as boring as I can. I'm less likely to screw something up if I keep it boring. Revenge trading. So for that, bro, like I get it, man. Like I think the biggest thing people struggle with when it comes to revenge trading is not just taking a loss and then trying to get the money back. It's like taking an A+ setup and then it failing, and that's when it starts to happen, because then you're like, okay, that trade was actually supposed to work out. Now it didn't. Now I need to get that money back. You see what I mean? And then what happens is you get very short sighted. You get very like like you look at things from a micro level than a macro level, right? And it's just really bad to do that. So for what I recommend for revenge trading, you gotta have a system. You got to trust it, right? Like people always like tell me like their goals for trading, like, and they all start with a monetary goal, and that's okay, but not something that I've done recently. But then I see them trade, and like they trade like they're trying to make that monetary goal in one day. You see what I mean? I'm like, bro, like you say your goal is 100K a year trading. Why do I feel like you're trying to make 100K in a day? You see what I mean? So that's what I would recommend. Don't be short sighted. Like this setup right here is probably, let me show you, like daily on gold, bullish as crap. Hourly point of interest, we swept relative equal lows here on the hourly inside of a bullish fair value gap. On the M5, what do we have? We have stop run on a lower time frame. So this is the hourly key level. This is the hourly key level. This could not work, right? I didn't size too heavy on this because I'm streaming. I'm like I say, my brain's a little all over the place this morning. But yeah, this could not work out, right? And in the past, this is probably like an A plus setup. And if this doesn't work out, I may be at the charts for 3 or 4 more hours trying to get back the money I lost, right? And I think a lot of people, they screw up because they think people like me or people really good traders, like they don't make mistakes. Like we make mistakes, but like my mistake right now isn't as expensive as it was 2-3 years ago. So they could be the same mistakes. They could just be at a lesser value, right? So like if this setup doesn't work out, right? Let's say it doesn't work out and I lose money, right? I don't lose any more money the rest of the day. Whereas like the rest of the day or 2-3 years ago, I would have like blown the account or it would have been a start to like a bad week for me. You see what I mean? Hopefully that helps, bro. Um, yeah, like I think in the best loser wins, Tom talks about uh he's not even he only thinks he's a good trader. And when I heard that quote, I'm like, dude, that's so me. Because I don't think I'm like that great. I just think I'm pretty good at losing. Um like I don't there's people that don't even trade anymore that quit trading that were better than me. But they just didn't they would just let one loss just screw with them. I think a lot of traders would tell you that. Like, so to clarify here, hey, calm down. Had to get a shot collar out. So this is like an A plus A minus setup for me. This could not work, right? And if it doesn't work, like I'm done, right? And that's the difference, right? Not trying to get back in and like, oh man, I'll just drop down to a 1 minute chart and then I'll take a short entry. And it's just like, bro, like, what are you doing? You know? It's like an NQ and ES. What are they doing? Sorry, I had to mute myself. Um, yeah, so it's a little choppy for me this morning on indices. Um, starting to get a movement now. We'll see what the M15 brings here in a minute, but that's why I didn't trust that short entry on indices. On ES, it actually would have played out for you guys, but that just wasn't something I was watching. Let me pop back out to like the so yeah, like right here. So let's just set up here on NQ. I'm sorry, gold. I'm not even trying to like joke or anything, but like I actually kind of don't want this to work out just so I can kind of teach you something. But basically, all I would say if this didn't work out and I lost money in this trade is I would just say this is the difference. Like clicking this button right here, top of my screen, is the difference after this losing trade. That's all it is. That's the difference between probably you being where you want. Yeah, that's probably my first. Um, the first thing I noticed is today is a little rough, right? That's no news, right? Like, but this is so dope. I don't have to like all these values over here to the right. This is great.
I mean, once you turn off your arguments and values, you're probably never going back. So
Hell, I ain't going back. Yeah, the word argument kind of scared me away for the longest time. I didn't know you could right click, but like that's something I never would click anyways.
I think it's a good point too. So can you talk a little bit about, again, not financial advice, not anything of that degree, but when you manage your stops, do you just set your stops and, let them pan out? Do you manage them accordingly with structure? How is your perception of stop management? Because anyone that would, again, choke their stop on a setup like this, they would have just been tagged, right? So
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I never want to break even if that's like what people are wanting, and I wouldn't even go break even now due to this wick. The only way, hold on a second. Hey, calm down. Truly, the only way that I go or I close out of a trade is based on time, right? So, like, if this trade like just took forever to play out and it's 12 o'clock, 11:30, I'm just gonna cut it no matter where it's at. Okay, but like I'm just gonna leave it. Like for me, like I really don't cut a whole lot like in the trade, but like I usually do something like this. So 80% off at 2R or full at 2R. I'll do 80% and 20% that I keep on. I'll hold it to uh so like if this draw was up here at like all the way up here, I'd take off 20% here at 2R. Okay. 80% off here at 2R. And then I would just hold the rest up to here. So that's kind of like how I do it. But the fact that this is right here, I'm just gonna get out right here at this high. Yeah, I'm actually in a gold trade right now, bro. It's pretty light because my brain's just a little scatterbrain this morning. Like I just got dogs in here, got people in the house and things like that. So I don't want to like I want to have any peace of mind. So the size I have right now is like enough peace of mind for everything that I'm juggling. Yeah, no, I mean if you check the hourly out, like we got open low, should be a high close. We got equal highs above us. I'm not too worried about it. I think we're in right now on the Discord. So that's one good thing about this. Josh, you probably attest to this, having another partner with it in your Discords. Like they can stream while like I can be in here. You know what I mean? Like the people that are paying aren't missing out on anything. So that's very good. Um, and we all kind of take the same trade. So that's
we
great.
appreciate you being here. Always definitely
Wow.
want you to know. We appreciate you being here and spend some time over here in 2 degrees and being able to walk through your setup and your uh, your analysis. I know that everybody in the chat um, definitely have probably learned something about a breaker and or market structure and or psychology and or something about your ways, and that's a beautiful thing about a collective conscious and what we share. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, also I want to drop this in here as well. This is like a PDF that I've made for my model and everything.
Absolutely.
Also, just like it's in my free Discord, but I didn't want to just where'd it go? think this is it. So this is for you guys. You guys can have that. I don't really give it out a whole lot. It's obviously in my free Discord that no one even looks at a whole lot. So it's kind of hidden in there. It's basically just everything about like me trading and some examples in there, what I went over today. So you guys can have that. I was gonna do a presentation on it today, but I was like, oh, let me just do like live price action because I saw like 3 setups for me, and I was like, let me just do that, and then I'll just get this out at the end. So feel free to keep that. It's like 30-page PDF, and yeah, if you guys have any questions, you guys know where to find me.
Appreciate the value drop.
Sure, man, for sure. I know some of you guys may be in some positions since the market's moving, so you guys can always add me in the chat if you guys have questions too. Like even like if I'm not live streaming or whatever. So for me, I'm a little worried that we don't get a whole lot of movement. I think, with CPI on Wednesday, I think we're gonna do something like this. Hope I'm wrong, but
I got a question in the chat.
Yeah.
Do you add to winners? And if you do, what is like your internal like dialogue and process for deciding when and where it's appropriate to add to a winner?
yeah. So I wish I could give you I don't really like I literally just take in my full position size right here. I just let it rip. So like I got in right here at 29. I got pretty 29 30 29 29.7. So I was like right up here. My normal risk and just target up to here. But I will say I put limits. I try to use limits as much as I can. But I don't partial in. If you guys want to know how partial, like let me show you how it would look though. And I'm not just doing this in the insight. So close above, retest. I probably partial right here. Not partial, but did you say partial or add? Yeah, okay, add. I'll probably
Yeah,
add
pyramid or add. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd add right here. Retested this IFEG. I would not add down here. Yeah, that probably pretty much be it. Okay. Now, if you guys are just taking like fair value gap entries, you probably do something like this. So an entry right here, fair value gap. Obviously, right here too. of the breaker. So you have 3 pyramids right here.
A question in chat about external range liquidity. How do you define external range liquidity based off of your like time frames that you're looking at?
Yeah, so external range liquidity is like for me, just like highs. So like last week, I was like of this range right here from last week, we had a sell off. I'm targeting this external high, January 31st. That would just be the external high from this range. Obviously, the external high would be all the way up here, all time highs, but from this range in the lower time frame, this would be the high, external high. This would be one here as well. So that's how I would use them. And then obviously, the best ones, like the best internal and external range liquidities, are always some sort of big move, right? So, like, say we have a CPI candle and we didn't do nothing previously, and that is like our internal range liquidity on lower time frames, like on the hourly or the 4-hour, right? And then the external high is like a previous week high, or external low, previous week low, or previous month low. Those are the best ones where you can kind of blend time with IRL and ERL are the best. Does that make sense, McGuire? Should risk be consistent or yeah, so like sometimes, bro, like I'll size a little bit differently, based on the setup. So like I have 3 phases. So I have like an A here. Let me drop it for you in chat. Give me a second. I almost dropped back to my Discord. So this is how I do it, bro. Does that answer your question, bro? Yeah, I hate to like just drop something in there, but like that's how I do it, bro. Like literally, like the only thing that's different is like the dollar amount. But, like my dollar amount's gonna be different than yours, so I feel like it's just best to have like a fixed answer, a fixed guidelines.
So when you're watching the price, I got a question for you. How do you gauge order flow? Are you looking at your down close candles? Are you monitoring fair value gaps? Are you again a set and forget? Like what? How do you look at price while you're engaged inside of a position? Like what's generally the time that after you take a position, you'd be like, okay, well that's a either a positive feedback response or a negative feedback response. And when you don't get that response post entry, what is like your internal dialogue?
Okay, so yeah, so it's all like the biggest thing about that is candle closure. So like I entered on a 5 minute. I'm not gonna look at anything like the hourly or like the M5 on this trade. Like if I'm bouncing back and forth, like just to see like how the hourly is. So open, low, high, close for me. That's basically the feel I'm getting. Right. And then from here, like it's just candle closure. So like people saw this huge knife down. Unless it ran my stop loss right here, there's no way I'm closing this trade early. Until like if we were to close like let's say down in here or whatever with like a flat body low or something like that, I may have like reassessed or whatever. 90% of the time I don't. Like I just keep like my stop where it was at. And the main reason why I say candle closure is because people are scared shitless down here, but when this comes back all the way up here, they're like, "Oh, I respected it." So like, I think it's best to have like time-based stops and time-based entries, a time-based like TPs and things. Because like, let's say silver, right? With silver is over here, silver, gold's the weaker pair, right? Let's say gold's the weaker pair, but it has two things that I look for. It has a clear draw liquidity, and and it's much cleaner than silver. So I'm gonna take it on gold. But what I'm going to do is take partials on silver once it runs this high, no matter what happens, right? So like the whole 80% goes off, like that goes out the window at 2R when silver hits its draw liquidity, right? Because what I don't want to happen is what? SMT, and then we go lower, right? And then for like this movement right here, now that we've gotten up to here, I would just move stop and break even at this point. And it's not based off of just the fact that we're up here. It's the fact that I got my entry an hour ago almost. We're getting later in the session, and we've gotten the movement that we wanted to see here. I would just move this up to here. You see, I'm not gonna. It's not about the capital aspect of it as much as you guys probably think. It is, but like it's just about preserving like the mental aspect of it. Like, because I don't want to like sit through all this mumbo jumbo and like I don't want to do all that. Like, I really really don't. I did that last week on Tuesday for NQ, and it didn't run the high. And I tried to get like one or two more entries down here, and I just wore myself out. And I didn't lose money or anything today. It was like a break even day, pretty much, a little bit above break even. But it wasn't about the money. It's what wore me out. It wore me out at the end of the day. So to answer your question, that's probably something that I would say. Like, I'm just looking for like the candle closure tells us like the story, right? So like people are probably scared shitless down here, but once they see this candle closure, then let's see it. So like, let's just say we have a big drop down to here, and we have a candle closure right here. I'd probably just get out right here. I wouldn't go break even, but like I'm telling you guys break even because like most people don't understand what I mean by that. But like I'd get out once this candle closed somewhere down into here. Okay, I would just completely get out of the trade because I don't want something like this to happen again, and then I get left behind. You see what I mean?
That's totally understandable.
Yeah, I think people they just get too scared, like when they just see a down close candle and they're going long. I'm like, hey guys, like come on, bro, like let it breathe a little bit. So candle closure, that's how I answer. That's how I would if I pyramided into entries, that's how I would look at it too. I would do something like this, like candle closure. I would have an entry right here, here, and here. Probably stop somewhere down here. A, B, C setup. You know what, bro? I'm gonna drop something. I'm gonna drop some other sauce for you, bro. So here's a ratings guide. So that's how I differentiate A, B, and C. Chris Berger. That's and like I said, I don't mean to say like I don't want to answer your question, but like I put stuff already into words that I feel like I could just give to people. That's just better than me repeating myself. So G Cutlass can have when in drawdown. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Because all I'm trying to do there, it's not about getting the money back. It's about getting my peace of mind back and getting like some sort of like consistency and confidence in myself, right? And when I'm in a win streak, I'm trying to add, bro. I'm trying to take advantage of that. try to set alerts as much as you guys can too. I think that's very important. All right, so this trade right here. Let me go back into the indices real quick. So if it wasn't so late in the session, I probably actually would lean more towards. Well, no. This is. I want to show you guys why I think. Can we all agree that like this would be in premium of the range? This entry, like from here to here, this is like the highest premium you can buy. Like I take trades in premium all the time. Like, is this is the move up before the move down, takes us liquidity, breaker entry. This is something I would take. And this is something I actually missed out on last Monday, a similar entry like this. It's 1025. So, and obviously I'm in the gold trade with you guys. So, I'm heavy in two positions at one time, but this is something you won't close above here, but something like that.
Have you checked out the 5 minute time frame on your gold chart on the other one that you pulled up previously? You had the T's model print pretty nice. Yeah, and you were calling that before it happened too, so that was cool.
Right. Yeah. So this is actually. Oh, go ahead. What were you saying, Josh?
Nothing. I just think that's a great example of how you also understand like the tools that you're using and when they're going to be basically presented before they do, and like how that assists you in your trade because while you were already looking for this to again materialize and print, you were in there a little bit earlier and understood the model delivery from the higher time frame down.
Right. Yeah. So, like, I use his indicator as like I could say a tool, right? Um, for me. So, like, this would like I'm gonna look for my model. It sets up great. Oh wow, T's model set up too. Okay, cool. Like this is great. So, um, that's how I would use the indicator. I'm pretty sure that's what they would tell you guys as well. So, uh,
So can you talk a little bit more about the entries and premium because I think that let's say it's a controversial subject
oh
or
yeah,
topic of discussion, but I'm very curious to also like know what it is that you're looking for. Excuse me. What it is you're looking for to support those narratives.
Mhm.
It's just like an outstanding draw on liquidity, current order flow, opening prices, time of day. Like, is that more related to your guide where I can also view that, or is that like a question we can just explore right now?
Yeah. So like, it has to do basically with my model, right? Like, if like even on like I think premium and discount, I hate to say subjective, but it is subjective, right? So like this is a range here, right? I'm pretty much in premium of every range here. If I go to the 5 minute, I'm in premium of this range too. However, if I have a point of interest down here and I'm bullish, like this little premium discount just goes out the window, especially if it aligns with my model. So like if you guys want to go look at the trade, the Monday last week AM session, like if you didn't buy, but you'll see that the setup. It was like when Trump tweeted, it shot down and it shot up. It had like a setup like this. It was in premium of the range. I just know for a fact people didn't want to buy at the top of the range. That's why they didn't want to. But like it would have been like the setup. So like for me, it's just based off the setup, Josh. Like, and my draw on liquidity. If my draw on liquidity is higher, what's premium have to do with that? You see what I mean? Like premium, like if you guys look at those two PDFs I dropped, you will not find premium and discount in those PDFs. So why am I gonna just bring something? And that's why I did in the past, right? Like I'd try to bring stuff, more concepts. Oh, more concepts, more money, right? So that's kind of how I would use it. But like, will a bearish fair value gap that's in premium dump sometimes? Sure, you know what I mean. So like, it happens, right? Just like an A+ setup can not work out. Let me check silver real quick. So 820 high. Okay, so silver nor gold ran this high. So this is what I would do. Just set your alerts on silver at this 820 high. And then whenever either silver or gold takes it, that's when you take partials. Let's check out. Okay. Did that answer your question, Josh? About premium discount? Premium discount?
Yeah, absolutely. So like that closure right there, and again, like say this is again in your time of day, like per your like defined setup. When you notice the, let's say the breaker in premium, it's the same candle closure above, the same entry model, and that smaller, lower time frame sell side is what you're monitoring as your invalidation? Or where would you be invalidated on like the larger premium in the larger breaker in premium? Sorry.
So breaker right here, I like to use like like fair value gaps or whatever for. So if I used it right here, it's probably way too much. So I'd
Yeah.
probably just drag it like somewhere like right around in here, give it a little bit of breathing room. I'd also sometimes I'll base my stops off of NQ too. So NQ just doesn't I can't do that with NQ right now because it's just the stronger one. And yeah, that's how I would use it. So like say this fair value gap low is like right here, I'd probably just shoot for this low. Because like if it comes down like all the way down there, it's probably just gonna sell off too. But yeah, that's how I would use it.
Makes sense. Awesome. Does anyone else have any other questions in the chat?
They're probably just reading through all my PDFs. Like, oh, I got all the answers right here. I don't need shut up. Let's see.
Had a couple people typing.
Okay. I don't like to use them a whole lot because it's not the time frame I'm using, but like, looks like there was a tiny 15-minute gap in here. But do you trade crypto? No, I do not. I do not, bro. This is the trade I'm in right now, on gold. This is I entered right here. I actually got a little. Let me move this up a little bit. I actually kind of got a worse fill. 29.7. Unless it's just like a huge death candle, I'm not going to enter or close this trade until I get candle closure below this break even point.
Got a question here in the chat. Says from Insta Trades.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, he was saying, do you ever find yourself trading counter to premium discount? Do you reevaluate your risk or trail stops more aggressively in those instances?
No.
No,
I hate to just give you a one word answer, but no.
no. Same entry, same model. Yep.
Like I said, if you go through those two PDFs, you won't see premium and discount in there at all. So like, I'm not gonna like go too much in it.
Thoughts on sticking to one time frame?
Yeah. So I think I've seen you a couple of streams before. Yeah, like the 1 minute, like lately. Let me pull up real quick. Uh, let me just read through here real quick. I'm reading something to kind of answer your question. So trade recaps. Let me go on my channel here. So for the year, I've had I've had wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's about 9 trades for the year. There's maybe 1 or 2 that I'm missing. I just haven't updated my trade recap, so I was a little busy this weekend. But of those 9, got 1, 2, 3, 4. Half of them have been like M1 executions. To answer your question, but of those executions, they're deep, shallow runs, right? Like they're not just like price hangs out in there for a little bit. You can actually just go on my Twitter, just go through the media, like check my trades, and you'll see them on there, bro. Like they happen very, very quickly on the M1, and they're very, very clean. Like they give you your entry and then they're gone, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you set limits? I mainly do limits this morning. I actually market ordered in on this gold trade right here just because I was, like I say, a little all over the place. So that is that's what I do. That's what I recommend too. So like if you do that, I find that you're easier, like you're more system oriented if you just set limits and walk away, right? Because what that's doing is like you're letting your system play out. If it gives you your entry, you set your limit, and then you just kind of like, like you don't really care what happens, right? I feel like people at market order in all the time, like they don't really get like the true like entry, right? They may like they like on the bearish candle right here. Once we got close above that, I don't know if I'm gonna take it. It's pretty bearish, right? And then like it just rips here, and they're like, oh crap, I got left behind. So it's best to just accept the risk, set the limit, and just like forget about it. I find that like the best thing to do. Like I said, I have no problem market ordering. Like people do it, like, that's fine. But I just find that the mistakes I made is like I'd wait for price to do something, and it runs without me, and then what do? I end up chasing it, right? So I don't really get like it's harder to track risk to reward that way too. Like every trade setup you take should look the same, unless you have like 3 or 4 different. All right, so we just hit TP on the gold trade.
Beautiful trade.
I was hoping this A plus setup wouldn't work out. Like, I mean, I wanted to work out for you guys, obviously, but like I wanted to kind of teach a lesson. But like I said earlier, like the lesson I would teach would just be like if it closed below here and like we get stopped out, let's drag this down here to my original. Like the difference between me right now and me 2, 3 years ago is just clicking this big button up here, this X button right there, and just walking away and be done with it. Let me check silver real quick. So silver is the weaker pair at the moment. So this 820 high is still not running on silver. So if you want to hold a partial, you can just set your alerts on silver. But yeah, I don't want to give financial advice in here, but I don't know how you'll do it. But
Yeah, nothing here is financial advice. There's disclaimers in the chat and in our rules and everything. So
yeah. So look at candle closure. So we got our entry here, candle closure, candle closure, candle closure. Like let's just actually there's a it doesn't look as bearish as like some of these big moves would have happened, right? I turn the wicks on, people get scared. See what I mean? All it is entry, pull back, pull back, pull back. So good trade though, guys. I think we caught it on our Discord too, so it's pretty
beautiful to see the team model there too as well.
yeah, no. Let's go back to it. Like I said. There's a T. If I'm reading this correctly, this box would have this formed right here, right? And then from there you would have got entry right here too. Josh?
Yeah, so anywhere inside of that green area is where you want to be monitoring order flow, right? So there's a bunch of videos that T Trades posts on his YouTube explaining about how he reads like continuations and reversals, and anyone that just watched the video that recently dropped, I think that's a great explanation as well of a continuation.
Yeah. Any advice to sticking to one strat? Advice to sticking to one strategy, bro. I'd probably say you got to find your one strategy, though. You know what I mean? Like, I have noticed, like, I have 4 or 5 traders that I know that are really good that don't trade the same model, but they all probably took this trade on gold. I know Matt took it. I took it. And then 2 others I know for sure would took it. It was just based off a different model, right? Like Matt took it off the 15-minute probably once it retested this order block right here, this red candle. So 29, 29, 27. I took it right here at 29, 29.7. And T's model up here. And then who else? Oh, fair value gap traders probably would have took it right here once we ran this low sweep with the stop run. So there's a lot of different IFEG. Yeah, I forgot about IFEGs. Yeah, IFEG close above this IFEG right here. Bam. So like we all like it don't matter what model you pick unless it's just completely different, like different strategy in terms of like supply and demand or something or whatever. I feel like you're all like unless you're just biased is like completely wrong, like you're gonna be in the same moves. I feel like it's just a matter of what where you're in. Like Matt is a little bit more aggressive than me. I'm a little bit more conservative than Matt. T's model in this was a little bit more conservative than me, right? So like those are 4 or 5 different models right there I just gave you that are the same. You see what I mean? Yeah. So T's indicator right here is a TTFM fractal model. Yeah, there you go. I enjoy it. Like I say, I had it on this morning for this trade. I just want to see when it popped up. See, like for example, my entry was before his, right? But still, like he's playing a continuation, and he has no problem doing that. Why? Because gold has just been on a heater lately. So, you know. And then for pretty much to answer my question, to answer your question, like everyone kind of trades the same. Like no one will tell you that because like, oh no, my model's different. Like Ryan, whatever. Like, well, it's all the same, bro. Like but you know what it's all based off? It's all based on draw liquidity. Like so the checklist that I gave you guys in the ratings gap, in the PDF, what was the first thing on there? It's draw liquidity. Like, it wasn't this, oh, it's a breaker here. You know, I should enter. It's like, oh, okay, we're bullish. I have a draw liquidity. Bam. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. Of course, bro. Of course. Yeah, so I don't use macros, bro. I really don't use macros like at all. Um, I like to look the commodities open is at 9 o'clock. I like to look for 9:15 to like 11:30. But if I don't get an entry on gold before 11:30, I'll just call it. But I'm sorry, before 11, I won't trade it at all. So like if it's 10:45 in the next 15 minutes, I don't get an entry. But if I wouldn't have got one, I just would have ended the stream. You see what I mean? So, what's up, Adam? Or I don't know if I can call you that, but it's just subtle docs. um, yeah. But yeah, no, that's how I would. That's how I would do it. Yeah, but he was showing me this protection pad stuff this past weekend. That was pretty cool. I was like, well, what are you talking about? For like his NFP streams. So this is another reason why I don't like premium and discount, right? Like if you trade it, cool, great, whatever. Like this was like a long opportunity that I was kind of like slowly giving you guys, but I was in gold long, so I didn't want to take it. But you look at the daily candle, the day, oh shoot, words are hard. So if you look at the daily candle, like you notice that what? Like ever since we woke up at 7 a.m. this morning or whatever, you woke up, we've been premium all freaking morning, all AM session. So it's like when you combine premium with a bearish fair value gap, people are like, oh no, there's no way I'm taking a trade in here for longs. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you're completely eliminating the fact that daily bias is a thing, right? Like draw liquidity up here, time frame draw liquidity, time frame draw liquidity, another time frame draw liquidity. If you use premium discount, cool, great. Like I hope you nothing but the best, but this is why I don't use it right here. And I've been trading gold for the past month. Like there hasn't been a time where I have gotten a discount entry on gold. Maybe on like the lower time frames, like something like this range here on the 5 minute, right? Like from here to here. Technically, I got like an equilibrium or discount entry, but like not really. So whatever. But given how this daily candle is, like, uh, oh, this is crazy. I would expect it to kind of like close down into here a little bit, like in the 800s, high sevens. Um, I'd be very surprised if it took these equal highs today. But another thing for daily bias too is like I don't care. Like all I care about for daily bias is just like all you need to care about is just like the session. Right? If you trade an AM session, like I don't care if it sells off in the afternoon. I'm just like I know tomorrow it's probably like doing that sell off for a entry tomorrow for longs. You see what I mean? So like just get like a session bias. You know what I mean? If you just trade one session, get a session bias. Oh, good stuff. I'm glad you took longs. So that is an example of. I'm actually gonna pull this up here. So this is NQ over here. This is the one I pointed out for shorts because we were in a 1 hour SIBI. And this is the entry that I took on gold. Why did I take the gold one over the NQ one? Well, the reason why is because this was in a 1 hour SIBI. This had a stop run. This had everything set up right. But what? I was bullish on the day. I'm targeting these equal highs. I don't care about anything down here, right? And then for gold, I'm bullish. Like gold is the only entry that aligns with my bullish bias. So I'm not just going to take a random breaker entry right here. On ES, it would have worked out great, but like, you know. Yeah, so midnight open, like I actually have it in my course, like daily profiles. Obviously, my A plus setup, if you were here this morning, I was talking about like my A plus setup would be like a New York reversal down to these Asia lows. If I was bearish, right? If I'm bullish, I want to see Asia do something like this, consolidate, drop in London, another stop run here on the hourly time frame, then retest and bam, right? All this would obviously be below midnight open. That's how I would actually use premium and discount. Like if we're above midnight, I'm in premium. Or if we're below it, I'm in discount. I'm not gonna draw the fib out. Like I can just kind of look at that by just looking at my eyes. So yeah, so someone actually added me in a different Discord and said oil M15. Yeah. So for me on oil, I actually want, if we look at the weekly, we're in a weekly fair value gap. That's good, right? Hour 4 structure. This isn't enough for me. Let's close above. It's not enough yet because it's just been so bearish. I would probably prefer something above here. And that's what I put in my Discord. But obviously, you got the close above on the full hour, right? Got the close above on the full hour. Drop to a 15-minute. What do you look for? You're looking for a breaker here. And what do we notice here? We're in this range. We're in premium, right? So your entry will be right here, right there. But like I said, like we're not gonna get this candle closure until about 11:15, and I don't trade commodities after 11 or really anything past 11, unless it's just like NQ or ES, like I'll just call it. So it does have context though. Like I don't disagree with you. Like you want to take it, you can target these highs up here. Shoot, you can even target the stat map level, distribution level up to here. Wait for a fair value gap to form. Honestly, this would probably be better right here. Because this is the true move up before the move down that takes us liquidity. So that's all to the condition. Yeah, good stuff, bro. Good stuff, bro. This is actually a very clean Monday for gold. And look at this right here, right? This is why I always wait for candle closure on stop loss. I know I talked about it earlier, but I take the wicks off. I want to show you the wicks. People are scared right here. They're scared here. They're scared here. They're scared here. But if I take the wicks off, just pull back. It's just a small pullback. Move up. Close above IFEG. Retest it. Bam. 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 Right. What's silver doing? Yeah. Nice. What is T? Get T in here.
Been a wonderful time here, knit with you for past, almost 2 hours now. And just want to make sure that the recording is all good. So I think we can stop the recording here. And I guess for any other questions that are outstanding, anybody can kind of just tag you in the general chat. I think this has been an awesome stream and wanted to just give a huge shout out to you and your community. Can you let people know, like, and share your screen, where to find you, a little bit about your Twitter and all the good stuff in your Discord?
Yeah. Let me split the screen here and drag this over. Let me change the windows. Oh. I think you guys are seeing. You said show the Discord?
No, I'm saying, like, show a little bit, like, your Twitter and just a little bit about also, like, how people can get into your Discord and a little bit about, I guess, how to find you, your WAP or anything like that.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna share my whole screen. World. Share the screen. Here we go. Okay, yeah. So I mean, obviously, shoot job. This is me right here on Twitter. You can follow me on here. You click this right here. You go to all my links: Instagram, YouTube. You click here. Got obviously my Discord. We always run a 7-day free trial for people. I'm not gonna get. Can you guys still see my screen? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I dropped your bento link in the chat for
Okay, cool.
everybody to check you out over there as well.
Yeah, and then like obviously I post all my trades for the year in here. I've done that this year. We actually had this thing get deleted. This channel get deleted last year, so I've been updating them from last year. And then so this is an example. So this was Matt's model right here. His Matt's a little bit more aggressive than mine. Mine was up here. We like that's what I say. Like me, T, Dodgy, Ryan, Ash, like we all trade the same, right? Like it's all based on draw liquidity. Where is liquidity at? I think people just lose like track of that when they're looking at like entry functions. So this is this was very clean. This is the perk of having someone else streaming, 2-person Discord, and I have all my premium education that I dropped in there for you guys. These are all my trades, and I post this game plan every week, every day. In there. That's pretty much it. I don't want to go in here to like dropping too much
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah, that's awesome. That's a great little introduction. If you guys want to check him out, he's in the chat here for his bento link, and just want to give again, I really appreciate you being here, and it's been awesome. Thanks for answering everybody's questions. And for anybody that's still here, again, please drop a heart and some love in the chat for Nick being here. Spent his whole entire AM session being here with you guys, and we appreciate him from 2 Degrees as well. A lot of love in the chat from you, Nick. So again, we really appreciate you. Just have a great rest of your week. And if you need anything from us, you know where to find us.
yeah, bro, of course. Yeah, no, I really like. Let's do it again sometime for sure. Congrats to all those people that took the gold trade on that. And like I say, this is the last thing I want to leave you guys with is focus on your bias and your draw liquidity. Okay, because like there's a reason I took this trade over the NQ shorts because NQ shorts were just a pattern trade. Don't fall victim to finding the next shiny object on Twitter. It all starts with like a bias and a narrative. Okay, so that's the one thing that a lot of people struggle with. That I see a lot of students. So I just want to. That's the one advice I want to give. So yeah, hope you guys have a good profitable week. CPI on Wednesday, so I'm probably gonna be pretty light on the week until then, and then I'll start to make some money post CPI. Colin, Josh, Adam, everyone in here, I really 2 Degrees. Thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thanks again, Nick. We'll see you soon. Okay. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. Bye now.
Take it easy.